Welcome back, GSA. We've got another 70-star SM64 race for you. It's the Battle of the Blues today. Blue Esports' own RockChalk versus also their own TriforceTK. Both these guys have demonstrated themselves to be real forces to be reckoned with. Triforce, the current world record holder in non-stop 70-star. Although, watching this practice pillarless attempt, may be somewhat hard to believe. So, real quick though, before these guys go ahead and ready up in the chat, got to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this tournament, Vi.gg. They're a PvP betting platform, so that means unlike most gambling where you're pretty much guaranteed that the house will always win, there is no real house in Vi.gg. They provide just this platform for people to bet against each other on these races. So, if you're a really big RockChalk fan, you got all that RockChalk merchandise that you paint your rocks with. Maybe go ahead and if you're of legal betting age in your country, go ahead and type that exclamation point bet in the chat, throw down a couple pounds on him. So we got both guys readying up at the moment. It looks like they'll actually be going from file select this time around, since Triforce, as always, playing on emulator. It looks like they're actually starting timing from reset, the more traditional method. Commentator just trying to, see what's happening on screen and make all these assumptions, but everyone out there knows what happens when you assume. And RockChalk is off. Give us just a moment to synchronize these guys for you. So going into this race, I definitely think RockChalk may actually be kind of going in with just a little bit of an advantage. Triforce, even though he's had some time after the 70-star nonstop tournament to kind of relearn what exactly this game is like with those star cutscenes, that's really his main jam is nonstop. So could be that RockChalk may have just, a slight advantage. Although I believe RockChalk primarily runs 16-star, so could be a little bit difficult when it gets to the upstairs segments here. So, of course, can't get anywhere in this game without that grand tour of that beautiful castle. And, Commentator said that he wasn't going to be throwing out those insane Mario theories in the Super Metroid race, but is Mario time now? How does one afford a castle like that? I mean, put your guesses on the Mushroom Kingdom's industries in chat, but I know what I think. As Triforce also knows that Lakitu skip, let's see if he's able to execute on that knowledge. And he gets it nice and clean. RockChalk with a slightly alternate setup, but again, just nice and clean. Neither of them opting to go ahead and take that Lakitu into the dark, shadowy corners of the castle, maybe throw a couple coins his way. Life's been a bit rough for those cameramen. I mean, honestly, they do a lot of the work for him in a lot of cases. Both of them going in for their bomb clip. This is pretty much pivotal for someone gaining an early lead, but Triforce not letting RockChalk be able to grab any sort of early lead, and RockChalk answering very firmly. So both of them pretty well even going out of bomb clip. Looks like Triforce has just a mild advantage at the moment, but as we've seen so many times before, that could be soon to change. Now, Triforce opting to actually looks like he was originally going to Whomp's Fortress and then kind of changed his mind, remembering that actually going up to the Princess's Secret side is a bit faster, but maybe forgetting that it's not exactly faster from the front of the staircase. And you hear that slide music, that's what time it is, chat. Post those guesses. I'm predicting, based off of that bump there. Let's see. Let's go ahead and watch this exit dive. Triforce with a 12-8, RockChalk with a 12-7. And, of course, Commentator neglecting to actually look at the script. If you would have just glanced down real quick, he would have known that he had those numbers reversed. But, simply not here to hold Commentator's hand. And Commentator just forgetting all the rules of how exactly to use the script. As both of these guys hopefully not forgetting the rules of the probably most technical stage in this game. At least in terms of what you have to execute in such a short time span. Whomp's Fortress. I don't know what he's fortressing himself against. But you can bet one thing. It's certainly not going slow. So let's see what these guys opt to go for first. Looks like Triforce going to be... Both of them going for Owlus first. A nice little strat to get out of the way. And synchronized triple jumps, but Triforce ending up outside of the cage just slightly. Meanwhile, RockChalk able to execute that clip inward. RockChalk taking that early lead, and Triforce able to get it on that second try. But honestly, I mean, you know, that's rough. That's rough to see early on in this race. Definitely nowhere near over yet. Just seconds of a lead that RockChalk has at the moment, but not something you want to see this early in the race. Now, RockChalk going for cannonless. We'll see if Triforce opts to do the same. RockChalk pulling out the texture setup, and it's good. Not having to worry at all about, you know, maybe his eye just being a little bit imprecise. Triforce also going for texture setup, and gets it as well. Looked like he was just slightly further away. One person in chat pointing out that Triforce not only has the non-stop 70-star world record, but also has 70 stars MU world record. So, you know, Commentator just trying to downplay all the accomplishments of these runners, act like he could do better, even though his personal best on this game is give or take 15 years. RockChalk starting off his 100 point very handily, able to make that full cycle with ease. Not opting for the pro cycle, but I mean, can you blame him in a racing situation? Pro cycle is pretty risky. Having to take a bit of a ledge grab there instead of landing straight on the plank like he wants to. Triforce with a pretty awkward full cycle looked like, having to take a long jump to the board instead. Could have actually even missed part of that cycle. Was a bit too focused on RockChalk's performance, but Triforce maybe also focusing on RockChalk missing that side flip. So RockChalk pretty well beating TriforceTK as far as Owlus and the 100 coin are concerned. Commentator forgetting exactly how words work, forgetting what exactly the owl is and what purpose it initially serves. You know, maybe GSA gonna have to take him out back and introduce him to that Tootsie Pop owl. I mean, because everybody knows that GSA obviously is located in Hollywood. So... RockChalk now going to shoot into the wild blue, and by shoot we mean, of course, cheeky little side flip wall kick. No cannons allowed here. Mushroom Kingdom is just too busy exporting all of its oil to have any time to spare for making gunpowder, so we're not going to see a single cannon in this run aside from... Actually, no cannons. For some reason, Commentator thinking that BOB 100 coin was involved in this route, completely forgetting how slow that is. Your Commentator may need to be just taken in the back, have the script just shoved down his throat. Who knows? While RockChalk shoving Mario's tush right into Big Daddy Womp. Now, as I've said before, memorize this grunt that this Womp is doing, because it's going to come up a bit later. And so both these guys, I mean, how can you really end up messing up this Big Daddy Womp fight? If you can go right through him with those ground pounds, you know, not really much room for error there. And now, finally, both our players going in for the top of the fortress. RockChalk with that nice triple jump dive. Good side flip, finishing out Womp's fortress in a very firm lead. Chat also opening up that they only attend these races for my personal cannon, but I mean, the truth is out there, folks. So RockChalk going into his second slide, so he got a 12-8 first time around. Without seeing any of his performance, I'm going to go ahead and predict a 12-6 this time around. No particular reason why, just because there certainly isn't a script right in front of me that tells me to say that. Meanwhile, Triforce, I'm going to go ahead and say he's going to pull a 13 flat. And RockChalk with a 12-8. You know, maybe he wasn't seeing his own copy of the script properly, wasn't supposed to get those double 12-8s, but hey, I mean, you get what you have to get. Both these guys with that amazing consistency of getting the exact same time on both slides. You know, Commentator just needing to take one little glance down at the script, but just can't do it. Can't avert his gaze even for a moment. Just like RockChalk right now in what many players call the hardest stage in the game, the wing cap stage, but RockChalk proving them all wrong by grabbing the twins nice and handily, even grabbing 3 and 4 with almost no height whatsoever. And so we see now RockChalk just with beautiful flying there. I mean, you can't ask for much better in the wing cap stage. Maybe a little bit more pronounced arcs, but I mean, you get through it. You didn't miss a single coin. What more could you really ask for? And so let's see if Triforce is able to also get this text box skipped. And nice, evenly matched wing caps. And so now they're entering this dark world. Let's hope that, you know, they brought their headlamps, maybe a flashlight or two and some duct tape. Who knows? Because they're going to need it to get through this place. Commentator just filling that empty space right at the beginning of the course with his personal cosplay voices. But, I mean, hey, what more can you do? RockChalk on great pace so far, starting out Dark World. Definitely looking to make himself a shig, and honestly putting himself in a great position to do so. Avoiding all the zappers there. Ooh, nice avoidance of that zapper on the pillar. And it's a shig. Very nice, not having to do that kick to wait for the normal cycle. And so RockChalk is going to come out of this Dark World probably with a keeping that nice little, I believe, probably 10-second or so lead. We'll have to see whenever they both execute the pipe entry. Triforce spawning the 8 red coin star while RockChalk collects it. Ooh, Triforce having a little bit of an issue with those stairs, though. Unfortunately, you can't reliably get either slope or stairs. Just kind of depends on how exactly your wall kicks happen leading up to that staircase. And unfortunately, Commentator, you know, saying that we should look at the timer whenever they both enter the pipe, but failing to do so himself. I'm going to try to see what RockChalk's timer leads, fading into black, getting a nice first throw. So is Triforce. I mean, you don't really expect any sort of failure on this first Bowser. If there's any sort of failure, it's just a slightly short throw, and you don't even need to do a full rotation. RockChalk getting the fade in to back to the castle at about 9:55. So, looks like about a 9-second lead at the moment for RockChalk. Nothing to sneeze at, but at the same time, nothing that can't be overcome by just a couple of little execution errors. So now RockChalk going in for his sky jump. This is why you see them take 2 separate trips to BOB. Commentator pulling out a very strange accent there for some reason, but you do sometimes see some mad lads going for island hop, which completely skips having to go back here with the wing cap, but requires just a very, very precise wall kick to start off and have the correct momentum to actually hop onto this little island. But both our guys opting for sky jump instead, a wise choice in a race situation, and both of them getting it nice and handily. So now RockChalk is going to be moving on to that Krispy Kreme mort. Kind of morbid there. Maybe we should call it, let's see. Cherry Custard Marauders? No, that doesn't make any sense. Fine, I guess I'll just call it by its real name. The Cruel, Calloused Machine. But RockChalk not falling for any of those gimmicks. Oh no. Making wall kicks work, but unfortunately diving just a little bit too shallow there. That's okay, though. Not making any major mistakes. Triforce having to take a ledge grab there, so wall kicks will work, you know, taking just a tiny bit of time off of both of these guys, but nothing super substantial. And let's see, RockChalk gonna go ahead and rescue this baby penguin, but honestly, rescue needs to be put in massive air quotes. I mean, for all we know, the top of that mountain could be the penguin equivalent of a McDonald's play place. Meanwhile, Triforce opting for slip sliding away, pretty well proving that he's going to be going for CCM 18. If you see them going for CCM 17, typically this is the starter that they pair with the 100 coin. Triforce trying for that moonwalk looked like, but just not quite. So RockChalk now going to be starting off his 100 coin, actually opting for CCM 17. Let's see if he decides to go for a double pillarless. I think it's pretty unlikely, though. More than likely going to be integrating Snowman's Land Reds, but could see a play on going instead for the THI Reds. Meanwhile, Triforce doing his own little penguin management. RockChalk with all the coins going into the slide. That's what you want to see. Missing one of those coins is typically okay, depending on what exact coin routing they did beforehand, but missing 2, ooh, and missing 1 on that arc there. Not entirely sure if he has enough to be able to finish out the slide and get that 100 coin. Oh, wait. Commentator realizing how foolish he's sounding right now. By doing CCM 17, you don't have to worry a whole lot about the very precise coin routing on this slide because the star spawns outside rather than inside. So possibly even an intentional miss there. Because as you can see, he's just going to grab this red coin right here to finish out his 100. But Triforce having, a little bit more challenging and ultimately stressful of a route, opting for that safety red, wise decision. We've seen that decision not to go for it. Definitely kind of messed some people up before. But RockChalk is going to go ahead and leave CCM with that 17th star, heading over into the Broken Booze house. Saddest story in the game here. All these ghosts of the creatures that Mario has wrongfully killed, all of them finding each other, finding this old abandoned house in the middle of this cage, and deciding to stay there to recuperate. Triforce missing 2 coins so far on his slide, so definitely glad that he grabbed that safety red, I'm sure. And so, these boos, they have that group therapy every night, and they're finally getting to a point of emotional peace. And what does Mario do? Just comes right in and kills them all over again. They're already dead, Mario. Just give them some rest. And now, remember me telling you to remember that grunt? While Triforce grabbing that star very nicely on that ice slide, here's that grunt coming back into play. That's right. Commentator is suggesting that Big Boo is actually the ghost of the Big Daddy Womp from back in Womp's Fortress, which Mario just can't seem to leave alone. He killed him once after all he said was, please quit stepping on me, and he's just got to kill him all over again in the afterlife. Triforce is going to be joining him in this little retirement home, while RockChalk is just going to be going for at least a more innocent star now, not going to be killing anyone, just going to be jumping a little bit up to a balcony. And so with that, RockChalk is going to be headed down to the basement. We're going to be seeing him go into both of probably the most difficult levels in the game. Or at least as far as the early game is concerned. SSL, we've seen take so many lives in the past. And Triple L, I mean, it's one false move and you're just wasting seconds upon seconds having to wait for Mario to stop complaining about his bum getting burned. I mean, at this point, it should be kind of part of the job description, and he should start bringing some fireproof overalls to these little expeditions he does. Triforce now, though, going ahead and going for that Big Boo on top of that balcony. And RockChalk with that nice MIPS grab. Flawless. You really don't want to see them flounder around with MIPS, so those first try grabs are just exquisite. Just and RockChalk starting off with this first pillarless. Looks good so far. Getting that jump over the quicksand, and it's in. Nice. Nice little quick Kobe from him. Remember, kids, Kobe is for accuracy, yeet is for distance. The more you know. Meanwhile, Triforce entering the basement himself. Let's see if he's able to get as clean of a MIPS grab. As RockChalk going for double pillarless, probably has the mindset going into this of, well, if I get it once, I'll go for it again. And the Mad Lad does it. Just perfect pillarless twice. Let's see if he's able to clench out these secrets. We've seen some people have some issues with these platforms in the past. Camera trying to mess him up, but oh, no. RockChalk not having any of it. 5 secrets, super handily grabbed. And with that, RockChalk now has his 22 stars. He's made up that deficit caused by CCM 17, and he'll be able to check into HMC late. Very nice. This is, I believe, the most optimal route for doing 70 star at the moment, followed by, of course, CCM 18 with HMC late, and then all the different variations of CCM 17 with HMC early. And the Shy Guy deciding to be nice to him this time. We've seen, if you checked out Cheese's stream recently, a couple of times that Shy Guy just deciding, you know what, I'm sick and tired of just being stepped on and seeing you, like, make that weird boing noise. I mean, that's my expense. That's my head you're jumping. Triforce, let's see if he gets that good luck too, and is good. Nice. So RockChalk going to be finishing up with what's typically a backup star, shining atop the pyramid. This is one that, as a new runner, you really want to put a boatload of practice into this. Not because it's hard, but because you're probably going to keep having to use it as a backup, especially once you have a couple of issues with Pillarless. And if you're going for Tama Plus, this is a strat you definitely need to have under your belt. And so now we see RockChalk heading into Lakitu's large lounge. Not a Lakitu to be seen, though. You know, it got invaded by lava. Princess Peach, with all that oil drilling she does, eventually she decided to drill into a volcano, while RockChalk missing that long jump there, but able to barely make that platform to go ahead and defeat this bully. Not able to even use the ground pounding strat. So definitely, you know, hemorrhaging just a few seconds to Triforce at the moment. Triforce still in a bit of a deficit, but it's certainly nowhere near as substantial as it was starting out this level. And Triforce with that nice, clean, logless log rolling star. I mean, logs just get absolutely no love. Can we get some Fs in the chat for logs? I mean, the developers put, what, 2 of them in this game, and absolutely no love from speedrunners. I mean, you can't really blame them. They're pretty slow, but still, F in the chat for logs. As RockChalk going for his triple bully kill, and Triforce entering the volcano. It's a bold strat. And RockChalk deciding to sympathize a little bit with the bullies, while Triforce with that beautiful lava boost, nearly getting bullied, but not quite. Nice pole jump dive. RockChalk, I mean, if he hadn't have taken that little dive with those bullies, then could have pretty easily been just an absolutely perfect Bully the Bullies execution. Mind Lover in chat pointing out that the true name of BBH is Benny's Baby House. You heard it here first, folks. Meanwhile, it's Triforce going to be going into his own couple of bully fights. RockChalk not even needing the camera change to get his wing cap, though. Pretty nice, if you ask me. Let's see. Just flawless execution. Oh, but not quite ground pounding on top of that star. Having to make a little bit of a readjustment there. That's not really something you want to see. If you get that ground pound on top of the star, it also means that you end up kind of immediately standing on the ground. And now Commentator getting bullied in chat for his allegedly insane, if you can't hear those air quotes, here they are now, conspiracy theories, but I mean, hey, the truth is out there. And what's also out there is both of these guys with some beautiful red coin collecting on this puzzle. And so both these guys going in for their last couple of stars in this level. RockChalk opting to save the volcano for last, but now Triforce actually has some pretty easy stars under his belt. RockChalk with that just very, very beautiful lava boost. So fortunately, you know, Lethal Lava World not taking any more casualties than it absolutely has to. Honestly, great to see. And what's also great to see is seeing some guys in chat type an exclamation point bet for the sponsor of this and our other tournaments, Vi.gg. You know, as these guys finish up Lethal Lava Land, RockChalk hopefully being able to get this just beautiful elevator strat. You too can go ahead and finish up on betting for the future races. Friendly reminder that just in a couple of hours, we've got the one and only Cheese versus Punkation. That's a race that if I were in a country where betting is legal and I were of legal age, I'd certainly be putting down some heavy cash. Not going to say for who, you know, Commentator has to be unbiased, but just got to say, go ahead and check them out. And now RockChalk heading up to the 30-star door as Triforce is making his way out of the basement. So, you know what's coming up. You all know what it is. You have tuned into the Super Mario National Geographic channel. Here, we see the mystical Mario yet again in his natural habitat, using just the top corner of his hat to handily open latches on treasure chests. Does he ever consider repeating just these same basic levels over and over? I believe not, because if he did, he probably would not have realized that he'd missed that one chest that quickly. RockChalk choosing to give up just a little bit of his lead in the interest of giving our viewers even more of that just absolute calm blissness of that serene swimming. And just look at those ripples on that random wall of water suspended by no force obvious to the human eye. Simply marvelous. Again, you are watching the Mario Geographic channel. RockChalk, preparing to guide his Mario into a very healthy rear sub, remembering that front sub only saves just a hair of time, if that. Meanwhile, Triforce also opting for that rear sub. RockChalk having a little bit of issues maneuvering the Mario directly out of the water onto that rear fin, but a nice second attempt. And so finally, we will see the Mario swimming with his favorite ocean companion, the manta ray. The manta ray is a graceful, serene creature, carefully spinning its tail in such an arc as to create these very nice circles of air. And Mario, rather than choosing to disturb the manta ray, flying right through his creations and picking up the power star that he found at the bottom of the sea. What a lovely finish to what has been a serene program. I'm Don Roethlisberger, and this has been the Mario Geographic channel. As we see RockChalk heading into that fire sea, let's see if he can make Lava Boost with early LEs. On good pace for it at the moment, as is Triforce. This could be what determines Triforce getting a pretty early lead. Ooh, and couldn't quite tell, but it looked like RockChalk actually missed the red coin coming out of the elevator there. Yep, that number 3 confirming it. So Triforce has a very grand opportunity to make up some major time. Let's see if he's able to get that lava boost. It's going to be good. And just like Commentator said, you know, looking at the script kind of gives me a little bit of forewarning, but ultimately, you know, that's what I have to do to get that great commentary out. But Triforce not quite getting those great jumps out, taking a couple of burns there, you know, almost definitely costing him that true good ending, but able to make the most of it nonetheless. RockChalk having to opt for that normal cycle, though. I mean, this is what we talk about. Just a little flick of the switch, and all of a sudden, one of these guys just recovers all of the time that he used to have as a deficit, now turning it into a lead immediately. And so let's see if he can clinch this out with this Bowser throw. As you've probably heard so many times before, this is the most costly one to lose out on in this game, because Bowser just has to realign the platform, make sure that he's QPU aligned, you know, doesn't want to have to go into an alternate parallel universe to be able to get back to the main world. But Triforce showing us what Bowser throws are all about. RockChalk with that nice secondary. And so, yeah. Interestingly, you know, we see RockChalk entering the basement with probably about a 10-second lead, leaving it with about a 15-second or so deficit, all due to that lethal lava. I mean, that's the power cycle. And now a little bit of a tip for you guys at home to be pro, at least watchers yourselves. Lava Boost will always work if, after the long jump off of that 6th red coin platform, Mario's hat passes above where that first platform is, that he kind of like looks like he's about to bonk into, but obviously doesn't. And so we see Triforce with that wet dry world 100. But yeah, that's a really easy way to be able to tell if Lava Boost is going to be successful or not. If the cap is above that area, then you can almost bet that the Lava Boost will be successful. So let's see now when exactly the RNG decides to really take hold of these guys here, because we've seen it so many times before. And one thing that a lot of people kind of don't think about is the coin box drops in SM64 are random. So there are some occasions where you get something kind of similar to what RockChalk gets there, where, ooh, Triforce taking that zap, trying to get around that circle. But you'll see what happens with RockChalk, where you break the box and just one more jump manages to get you all the coins in the box. And then sometimes you have to go fishing a little bit. But that ring that RockChalk just got through, fortunately, without a zap. It's pretty difficult because you have to go all the way around the back for that just blind curve and hope that you stay close enough to the platform to avoid the zapper. Triforce, though, missing a couple of coins from that Chucka. You can only miss one since this line at the very end has 5 coins. Let's see what RockChalk has to offer here. Going for the kind of risky Chucka strat, but nice RNG. That's what you love to see. And of course, finishing, needing that last coin in the line, but no big deal. So both of them have got that Wet Dry World 100 out of the way. Now pretty much all that's left is these Trick Stars, and then of course, that one teleport and done star, shocking arrow lifts, which unfortunately, absolutely no arrow lifts to be shocking whatsoever. When Triforce opted for the kind of casual strat to get on top of that cage for top of the town, let's see what RockChalk has in store for us. Based on him putting the water level so low, yep, so we've got that triple jump up to the ramp there, and let's see what he pulls out. Not bothering with the side flip at all, but missing the wall kick there. Oof, that hurts. Big oof. Can we see some SM64 hands in the chat? So RockChalk now not even going for that triple jump, going to go ahead and go for the elevator star, the quote-unquote casual way. And Triforce also opting to completely skip out on that triple jump on the ramp. It can be fairly advantageous to do a side flip right before trying to start that triple jump. It'll line you up pretty well, and by executing that side flip, it does actually, I believe, count as the first in the series of 3 jumps. So it makes that triple jump way easier, but you know, neither of these guys deciding to go for it for whatever reason. And so RockChalk again showing us, you know, casual strats can win you some pretty decent time. Deciding not to go for that triple jump at all anymore. You fail me once, shame on you. Fail me twice. You can't get fooled again. So we see TriforceTK with those shocking arrow lifts, which, I mean, I don't know about you. I didn't see any shocks. I didn't see any arrows or lifts. And so Triforce, with his secrets, this is what we've seen as a fairly major time save for some people. Just having a couple of mistakes, especially on the end of the execution here, can really cost you some precious seconds. And God forbid, if someone misses this star platform at the end, major time loss. But TriforceTK, no worries whatsoever. And RockChalk, meanwhile, opting to take a bit of a swim. You know, maybe he figured that after all those burns in Lethal Lava Land, he needed to give Mario's bum a little bit of nice TLC, but unfortunately, that's going to cost him a little bit of time. Meanwhile, Triforce with the top of the mountain. Let's see if he goes ahead and goes for Mountain Clip. No dice, but, I mean, hey, it only saves, like, I believe, 1/3 of a second. RockChalk getting a little bit of an advantage back from Secrets, though, finishing it off with the squash ending rather than the ledge grab. But, yeah, Triforce wise not to go for that Mountain Clip. Doesn't save a whole lot of time. And so now Triforce going to be heading in one last time for his Exterminator job. Yet RockChalk still has to get to the top of the mountain first. And let's see here. We got 1. We got 2. We got 3, 4... and 5. Now, ma'am, I had to execute 5 literally living plants in your yard. That's going to come out to $275 for that job. RockChalk with that beautiful top of the mountain going to be executing his own piranha plants. They don't know what's coming at all. But he can't even get up onto the platform to get into that miniature pipe. What a tragedy, honestly. Triforce, meanwhile, deciding to treat Toad pretty nicely, but I said it before, gonna say it again. How does Toad get 3 power stars when Bowser explicitly says that they're for his minions? He's playing both sides. I tell you. The truth is out there. You can't hide it forever. Just like you can't hide Triforce's skill with those mountain clips. Nice first try mountain clip. Let's see how the log wall kick goes. And is good. Nice triple jump to go ahead and get up that slope really quickly. Missing that triple jump means you got to kick your way up, and it's not only slow, it's also fairly noisy, honestly. So he's got one of his two mountain clips out of the way, but now comes the tricky part. Whenever he goes back in for that waterfall star, I mean, it's going to be tough. The real difficulty with that waterfall star is just having to do the side flips, dives, and wall kicks to be able to actually get into that waterfall cap. So we see RockChalk also with a beautiful mountain clip. For those who are maybe new to watching SM64, that's not just a matter of, and Triforce actually opting for the safer strat of going ahead and ledge grabbing there to get a side flip into the cavern, while we see RockChalk with the faster but much riskier strat of just taking a wall kick off of that wall. Mountain clip is not just a matter of hitting the mountain in a very specific place. So what they're doing is when they make contact with the mountain in that specific place, they're executing a rollout. And that puts part of Mario's hitbox, i.e. where the game knows that Mario can be physically hit. It puts part of that hitbox through the wall, and the game just says, you know what? I'm not dealing with this. I'll put you all the way through the wall. Triforce with beautiful reds. This is one of probably the most Monka-esque moments in this run, because one like small slip up in those mushrooms at the start, and you're taking a death. Making a mistake on that wall there, easily losing 10 plus seconds. And especially the very ending there, number one, if you don't actually get that 8th red, congrats, you played yourself, you jumped right down only to have to reclimb that wall all over again. RockChalk going for breezeless, and ooh, narrowly not getting that clip. That was rough to see. You could see him just, Mario questioning whether he wanted to get inside the fence or not, and then just saying, nah. All right, so now Triforce only has Mysterious Mountainside left to go, i.e. breezeless. Let's see if he opts to go ahead and go breezeless, or no, opting just for the breeze. Probably a smart move. I mean, if it resulted like what RockChalk just had to deal with, I don't blame him whatsoever. And so now we got RockChalk finishing out his reds. And the final thing that I meant to mention can happen here is if you overshoot that mushroom on the end, congrats. You really played yourself by collecting all 8 red coins and then just missing the star entirely. So Triforce entering Snowman's Land, opting for the approach on the box star first. Definitely admirable, although it can be advantageous to try Big Snowman's head first, and if you don't get a good angle, go ahead and move on over to doing this star instead as a backup, since it's pretty well in the same direction. Let's see how RockChalk's box jump goes. Very nice. And so Triforce now opting to do Big Snowman's head, but if he fails this, depending on how exactly he fails, trying to use Deep Freeze as a backup could be costly, but no fail whatsoever. Getting that wall kick that really tells you that the advanced strat just worked. That wall kick on that sloped bridge is so difficult. It's really hard to understate how difficult that actually is to pull off and get the angle properly. RockChalk not liking his angle for Big Snowman's head, so he's deciding to go ahead and go for in the Deep Freeze instead. Typically, you'll see people use the setup that Triforce is using right now, going right from the very beginning of the level. It's only about, I believe, 8 or 9 seconds, but as Cheese once famously said, he had to practice it for about 2 weeks to get it consistent. I mean, just think, 9 seconds of inputs, and yet having to practice 2 weeks just to get that rhythm consistent enough that you can start using that strat in runs. So RockChalk finishing out Big Snowman's head. Both of these guys, all they've got left is this bully right here, which I really wish I would have known this as a kid. You can just slide right into, and he slides right off. Ice physics are no match for this bully. Or vice versa. Commentator forgetting how exactly words work yet again. May need to return to pre-K. Commentator skipping pre-kindergarten, which may be the reason that he doesn't entirely know English that well. Ooh, but RockChalk taking a bonk right there, right before getting over that final wall. That's a rough bonk to take for the reason you just saw right there. You fall right into the ultra freezing water and have to just climb your way back up all over again. Triforce, meanwhile, going ahead and making his way down to the basement for that HMC late. Let's see how his MIPS grab goes first, though. Nice dive grab, not having to flounder all around MIPS all over again. Very nice. So far, no failures on MIPS grabs. Beautiful to see. As soon as RockChalk finishes the bully star here, he'll be joining Triforce in the basement, and we'll get our 4th MIPS grab of this run. All right, so Triforce going ahead and grabbing Toad's Star as well, and now he'll be entering that Hazy Maze Cave, which, if you're familiar with Commentator's insane conspiracy theories, look at that sheen on top of that puddle. That is definitely oil. If you've ever seen oil pooled up anywhere, it's got that rainbow sheen on top of it. You ever wonder what the pipes are for in that room? Oil pipes. Bam. It all just fits together. You can't explain that. Just like you can't explain Triforce's awesome performance on that triple jump wall. Triple box jump. Commentator finally getting the name of the trick right, while RockChalk messing up the last MIPS grab of this race. You had one job, could have gone 4 for 4, but nope. Instead, having to opt for this, honestly, slightly shameful dive straight into MIPS in that little tunnel back there. I mean, it's rough. It's hard out here. Triforce, though, going to be going now for his Christmas miracle. Let's see if he can make Christmas come just a little bit early. 11 days early. Probably a little bit of a stretch, but he makes it happen. Someone go ahead and get Santa on the line. Gonna need to start making his deliveries just a tad early. I'm sure 11 days is good enough, right? I mean, he's had all year to prepare for this. Don't tell me he's like your average college student and waits until like the day before to actually make all his toys. Triforce re-entering. All he's got left now in this level is the amazing emergency exit, which does not involve an emergency exit or a maze. And finally, watch for rolling rocks, which may have a few more A presses than all of you are used to. Not entirely sure. RockChalk with that beautiful triple box jump, though. Just great. Just great stuff for both of them. But I mean, you have to ask, though, was Hazy Maze Cave originally... Commentator struggling to find out some good acronym for HMC, but the point being that Hazy Maze Cave was once this happy meadow of crustaceans? I don't know. Crustaceans don't belong in a meadow. Anyway, big point. Peach drills this out for oil, and what do you see now? Toxicity creates scuttlebugs, and Triforce, ooh, oh no! Triforce getting good RNG at first, but missing the dive onto that platform up there, and then, of course, getting bodied by a boulder just for good measure. But I mean, where else do you see scuttlebugs? That's right, Big Boo's Haunt, the place where all of the enemies Mario has wrongly killed have gathered together. Some of those scuttlebugs making their way out of the Hazy Maze Cave, trying to find some place that they can call home. One of the Boos sees them and says, you know what, you're welcome here. And then Mario just stomps on them. Truly tragic. Can we get... Alexa, can we play Despacito? And now Triforce making his way past the 50-star door into Tippy. And also, RockChalk going to be making his way upstairs momentarily. He's got, I believe, one final star. Yep, definitely going to be doing a watch for rolling rocks. Meanwhile, Triforce going for his Lakitu bounce, but not really liking the angle that Lakitu decided to give him there, so opting for red coins and Massive Maze instead, but then falling. That's a pretty rough time loss to go ahead and take. But getting that nice wall kick the second time around, and the difficulty of those types of wall kicks can't really be understated, because you have to make sure that you're still close enough to that platform above you that you're able to actually ledge grab, but far enough away that Mario doesn't bonk his head on top. So, all right, RockChalk now going to be joining Triforce in Tippy. Triforce with a single star lead at the moment, but that could all go south depending on how Lakitu Bounce decides to treat him this next couple of times. So he's liking the way Lakitu's facing now. Ooh, but missing the plank after the bounce, having to go for tricky triangles as a backup. This could be what RockChalk needs to secure this lead. Because, I mean, the only other backup that Triforce has is going in for swinging in the breeze, which is definitely the worst of those three backups. I mean, if you miss Lakitu bounce once, you definitely want to go for the... Oh, Lakitu with that posthumous hit. Wow, I've never seen that. So in case you weren't looking at RockChalk's screen, he got the Lakitu bounce, got onto the board, but just before he bounced on top of Lakitu, Lakitu said, oh yeah, two can play at this game, and threw a shell onto the board just to bonk Mario and make him fall off. Triforce getting that third Lakitu bounce, though, able to completely avoid having to use Swinging in the Breeze as a backup and going ahead and grabbing his Cruiser Cross and Star. Let's see how this affects RockChalk whenever he goes back in for this second attempt at Lakitu bounce. So, all right. Triforce going for Swinging in the Breeze. RockChalk with that second attempt at Lakitu bounce. Lakitu not pulling out any games this time. You know, that Spinya is the only one that he happened to have this time. And so now RockChalk able to get Cruiser Cross in with one fewer attempts than Triforce, making up a decent amount of time. But then Triforce is going to be headed into the one, the only, Tsukishima's Torture Chamber. Official name, Nintendo has retroactively changed the name of this course. I mean, it deserves it, honestly. RockChalk going ahead and taking care of, tricky triangles from the left side. You don't see this one every day, especially if it's being used as a backup. Triforce starting out with that TTC 100. Chat, can we get some speedrun fires? Throw me out some clocks. They're in the middle of a clock. We need some clockception. While Triforce can't seem to figure out how a side flip works at the moment. RockChalk, meanwhile, passing over the Rainbow Ride entrance. And has anyone else ever thought that the Rainbow Ride entrance was a tad lazy? I mean, how hard is it to draw a rainbow? I mean, you drew a clock face for TikTok Clock. You could have at least drawn a few colored lines in a bit of an arc for Rainbow Ride, but no, you couldn't. Triforce, meanwhile, having issues with those wall kicks. You know, his TTC 100, he hasn't taken any major falls yet, but leaving some time on the ground for RockChalk to maybe pick up in just a moment. So finishing it out, though, pretty handily. Coin RNG wasn't exactly the best for him, but it doesn't actually, splatter everywhere, causing him to have to just exert a boatload of effort having to re-grab all those coins. While RockChalk goes ahead and starts his TTC 100. Triforce looked like he had a little bit of trouble getting up on top of the thwomp. Slight amount more trouble, but RockChalk missing one of the reds that he has to grab to finish out this 100 coin. Just also having a rough time, not able to get that wall kick, having to go ahead and do that pretty short triple to go into a wall kick. But Triforce finally able to stomp on that thwomp and finish out his 100 coin star. And so now we see RockChalk going in for his final few coins in his 100 coin. Remember, this was where Triforce also hemorrhaged a fair bit of time. Double wall kicks pulled off clean. But Triforce proven himself to be a force to be reckoned with. A man that chooses to eat his ice cream cones the absolute 3000 IQ way from the top down. While RockChalk just can't seem to get a clean end to his own 100 coin. This is a little bit sad. I mean, you know, obviously we can kind of expect stuff like this to happen in TTC. So many invisible walls and just so much technique required. But RockChalk's hands getting stomped on by that thwomp. Fortunately, Mario has dough hands, so not able to get fully injured whatsoever, but costing him that ledge grab. And so Triforce now going for roll into the cage, followed by get a hand. The order that you see Triforce going for these is really pretty much the optimal order, because if you miss the pendulum star, you can use roll into the cage as a backup. You miss roll into the cage, you can use get a hand as a backup. There's a lot of different things that you can do. Oh no, RockChalk missing that triple jump wall kick to start off TTC. And with that, you can't really recover that by trying that trick again. Have to go up the much more traditional way up to, oh no, taking a fall. Barely able to avoid a death there. RockChalk just spilling spaghetti everywhere. RockChalk more like needs salt, honestly. If I don't see at least one haha for that, I'm going to be severely disappointed. And now Triforce finishing out TTC. He's got this star and the red coin star remaining. If he can just get up for that triple jump, wow. I mean, if he can't time these jumps, how is he going to time these jumps on what should be moving bars, but are stopped bars in this case? Not something Nintendo could have anticipated, a player deciding to stop the bars. Okay, now RockChalk going for his own pendulum star, opting to eat his ice cream cone the 2 IQ way, going from bottom to top or side to top. Couldn't exactly tell, but meanwhile, Triforce going to be collecting his reds to head up into bits. RockChalk fortunately able to land this triple jump this time around, going in for get a hand. So he now only has 2 stars remaining to catch up to Triforce. It's still not over yet, but it's going to take Triforce making a pretty substantial error in bits somewhere Probably something like a death going into the pipe or bad Goomba RNG, or could even just take 2 failed triple jump dives at the start. Who really knows? But ultimately, Triforce very firmly in the driver's seat of this Fortnite bus, but still forgetting how stairs work nonetheless. Commentator trying to compliment the runners, but they just won't have it. They're a little bit too humble for that. And so now Triforce going into bits while RockChalk just cannot get into that cage. He was trying to avoid most of those not moving bars, but ultimately having just a tad of an issue, but able to clinch it out nonetheless. Okay, so Triforce gets the triple jump dive. It's it, ladies and gentlemen. The race is over. Everyone can go home. You know, never mind the rest of this level or the Bowser fight. It's just done. It's a done deal. Triforce having a little bit of an issue on that slope there. You know, taking that ledge grab there, killed all of his momentum. Going for a... Okay, stationary left side, playing it safe. I can respect that. I can really respect that. So now he's entering his elevators. This is it, the moment of truth. The Goomba is in the optimal position for an upset, barely swinging his way around that. I am shocked that that was not a hit. And so now we see Triforce going into the Bowser fight as RockChalk collecting his final star from Toad. Triforce has to get his 3 throws with pretty good consistency to go ahead and clinch out this race. Which, I mean, the nerves that can apply to you at the end of a race or really the end of any run can certainly make this a hard task, but Triforce putting all those nerves away. You know, he's got a special nerves jar that he just throws them all into when he goes into bits. 3 for 3. Not giving RockChalk a chance to set foot in Bowser in the sky before going ahead and finishing off Bowser. Finishing with a cool 49-41. RockChalk, meanwhile, looks like he's on good pace for a high 50, low 51. And let's see if we can go ahead and get Triforce into the call with us for a quick little post-race interview. RockChalk, though, with a great performance on bits so far, though. Not making any major execution errors. Going for moving left side and gets it as well. And we've got TriforceTK in the call with us. How are you feeling right now, man?
I don't know. I'm feeling pretty happy that I won. But I was 48 pace going into Tippy, and I was afraid RockChalk was going to catch up to me, considering what happened in Rainbow Ride and TikTok Clock. So I'm just happy I was able to clutch it out.
Yeah, definitely a rough Rainbow Ride for both of you, honestly. I don't know if you saw, but RockChalk actually got posthumously bodied by that Lakitu. He got the bounce, and somehow the Lakitu managed to throw a Spinya onto the board that made RockChalk fall right off.
Dang.
Yeah, crazy. But I mean, absolutely stellar race. What star are you, or sorry, what course are you especially proud of after that?
I'm gonna go with SSL because on that plus attempt, I actually screwed up the camera. Usually, before I do the double jump on the sand, I have the camera sideways, but I didn't turn it in time, so I had to like wing it and double tap A whenever I thought it would work, and I got it. But other than, I think Lethal Lava Land was good. I think Wet Dry World was really good. THI was really good. TTM was really good. SL was really good. It's just Tippy. That would have been like maybe a PB if it wasn't for Tippy. So.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Tippy can be just a really unforgiving mistress, as RockChalk can also attest to. How are you feeling after that race?
I don't really know. The beginning of that race was insane. That was my best pace at SSL by like a lot. And then I got really nervous, and I don't know, I just couldn't really get it back together after that. But overall, I'd say pretty good. I mean, this was like 30 seconds off my PB, so I'm all right with it.
Yeah, I mean, stellar performance. That double pillarless was just wild.
Yeah, that was hot. It was really good.
I'm guessing you had the mindset of, if I get the first one, I'll go for the second one?
Yeah, and then like, basically I was going to go for it like 3 times, and if I ran out of backups, I was just going to go do HMC. But luckily it didn't come to that.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I was watching the stream the whole time, and I was pretty nervous because I saw you get double plats. I saw you weren't screwing up, and I was like doing the best I could, and I could not catch up.
That was nutty pace at SSL, but yeah. I mean, yeah, you must have played pretty well though. Get a sub 50. I didn't hear what you were saying in the interview just now, but
I had a good upstairs, but I lost like a minute in TikTok Clock, or a minute in Tippy, I think.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my tippy wasn't great either. That Lakitu bounce, I've seen that happen like 3 times ever. That was absurd. He hit me with the spiny like while I was on the ramp.
Yeah, I've
So-
never seen that before. Just
That was
wanted
nuts.
to take his revenge from beyond the grave.
Yeah.
Now, RockChalk, I gotta ask, what was going through your head in Fire Sea when you realized that you'd missed that elevator red coin?
That happens every time. Like if I don't get the normal lava boost movement and like I have to like do it weird like that, I always miss that red coin. I don't know why. I don't know like if I go too close or too far. So I'm very used to it. Like I do it literally every time. So I mean it sucked. That's when I stopped being nervous because like LL through Fire Sea were a disaster. But I knew that I would just make normal cycles. So I guess I don't know. I don't know why that happens though.
Yeah, I mean, tough break. You had a pretty good lead all the way up until then, and then it just flip-flopped due to that lava boost from Triforce.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that was very nicely executed. I mean, yeah, just great race from both of you guys. Triforce, you will be moving on to face. Let me pull up this bracket real quick.
I believe it is the big man himself, D whatever.
Yeah. Good luck.
I'm scared. I'm excited, but I'm scared. I'm probably gonna get my booty clapped quite a bit. So
This would be a good race.
Yeah, it'll be between J-Mill and D whatever. Not sure if that race already
I think
happened.
it did happen, yeah. Pretty sure. I know it happened. I'm pretty sure D won.
yeah, it was like at 4 today.
Ah, okay. Was unfortunately out of the house. Didn't have that Mario fix for just a moment. Started getting my arms itching a little bit, but that's okay. We live and we learn now. I mean, yeah, just great run from both of y'all. Or do you either of y'all have any questions for each other by chance?
I don't know.
Not really. I'm just gonna say GG and good luck.
Yeah, thanks, GG. That was a fun race.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, thanks so much, guys. We'll be going into intermission in just a moment, but real quick shout out once again to our sponsor for this and our other tournaments currently ongoing, Vi.gg. If you're of legal betting age in your country of residence, check them out with !bet in the chat. Coming up, the moment that a lot of us have been waiting for. That's right, an SMO race after this, I believe, but then followed by an SM64 race between the one, the only Cheese and Puncation. So make sure you stick around for that. That'll be a super exciting race coming up at 9:15 EST. Or sorry, 9 EST. So about 45 minutes until then, but before that, quick intermission. It's been a pleasure commentating. Again, guys, for one last time, great race.
Thank you.
GG's.
Thanks for commentating. I'm sure it was fire as usual.
Oh, you don't have to flatter the
Don't follow.
commentator that much.
Commentator currently blushing in the commentator booth.
Yeah, just solid red. Camera's not even able to pick it up, but yeah, I'll go ahead and leave y'all with some lo-fi. Have a good one, and we hope to see you at 9 in about an hour.
Bye.